Hi, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. I've missed you. I have. Thank you. Hi, Freeside. Hi, Sherry. Oh, I looked for an email from you, Sherry. Um, you know, but I didn't see one. So, that's okay. Let's see. So, I had quite the day. I have video to show about it. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Oh, good grief. Why isn't my camera working? Oh, it's turned around. Oh, shucks. Hello. Hi. I didn't know my camera was turned around. This is called At All Costs by the Bravery. Belleria Ergo Pillow, because this one just isn't cutting it either. And I'll get to my videos of my excursion today with my son. Wait till you guys see what happens at the end. Yeah, it's nice. It's the gray room. Gray. As in the color gray. Oh, Lord. Okay, let's stop that. We'll star those so I don't play them again next time. That was a stroll. Now, well, hello to the 16 on, okay, well, Jimmy isn't in California anymore. To the elephant riders up in the baskets, or whatever they are. We're on Thailand now, my daughter and I, season 5. Wow, how exciting. I've been watching Survivor for a good 2 or 3 hours in a row. It's on Netflix I don't know, something on the internet. I do that in the early evening after dinner, and today I rode my bike with my son to his gastroenterology appointment. The last few days, I haven't shown my face and done all that kind of stuff because I've just been putting out little videos without it, which I didn't know you could do. I actually am getting pretty good at shorts now, so it's fun. But the one with the seagull, the last short I did, there were 2, and one was really a fat seagull, really big, and that one was like probably the mama seagull that I filmed, and my hands really tremor. Hi, Wild Angel. My hands really tremor. The good thing is, when this iPad or tablet or anything that's on my bike, remember how it was all over? It must be the new iPad OS, or it's just the fact it's an iPod pad, because when I watched it back, it wasn't all over the place. It was steady. I couldn't believe it. Now, it was updated again. So let me see who's here. Oh, good. Oh, let's see. So, yeah. Hi, Sonia. I love you. Well, thank you. Oh, I hate the vertical lives. I don't know why. It's just weird, says Lisa. Yeah. S. Hi, Lulu. Isn't that you, Lulu? It looks like your avatar. Thank you. Thanks for being here, all of you. Cheek Pension. Is that the Cheek Pension Granny? That's wonderful. Thanks, you guys. Well, I'm pretty healthy. Well, thank you. Better than all the fighting, nice relaxing music. What have I been doing? Yes, I like to do shorts. You feed the seagulls. Boy, the last time I did that, I was about 10. It was in California at Balboa Beach, where my mom was living then, with her boyfriend, and I was still with my dad. And we flew there, my sister and I had never even seen a seagull because I was from South Dakota. And we fed them French fries, and boy. Hi, Aussie True Crime. Hi, everybody. Look at this. We got a bunch of ladies in here tonight. Well, Freeside's in here. Daniel Berry Sports. Daniel Berry Sports could even be a woman, right? It could be Daniel Berry's wife, and even Freeside. All this time I thought, what's the name of the guy now? Now I can't remember. But anyway, I thought he was a man because of the name, and it's a woman. So that was neat to find out. That was in my last live. Oh, you're in Montana, crazy chicken lady. Wow. It's hot there. I mean, that's what I hear. I've only been to Havre, which is like nothing. It looks like there's nothing to that town unless there is, and I didn't see it. When I took the train with my daughter to Iowa, we actually stopped there. The train stopped there. So, yeah. So hello to the 20 on the, instead of saying bushes, I like to pick different places. And this time, because of Survivor in Thailand, we're going to go with on top of the elephants, the big elephants in the baskets. Wow. That looks like fun. That's something I wouldn't mind ever doing. Okay, so I'm going to get right to it. In case, yes, right now it's hot. I'm a couple hours from there. You're a couple hours from Washington State. Montana is a huge state. On the train anyway, all day long, just to get through that state. It was amazing. And then when I woke up the next night after that, like the next, not that night, but the next night, I was in North Dakota. Like the train is fun and beautiful, but Harvey, not sure how you pronounce it. But if you're in a hurry, don't take a train. It takes like 4 days to get just across to the middle of the United States and the same back. But it was beautiful and it was fun. I wouldn't give it up for anything. My daughter was 7 then. It was really nice. My son didn't want to go on a train, then. He was 15. He's 8 years older. Now, you guys, I'm still a little shooken up about what happened earlier. I can't spell it. No, you did fine. This is why I'm so late. Going on later than usual. I had to film from this regular iPad I'm pointing at that I use with the better lighting, onto this one. This is used. It's an Amazon. I love it. I can play music and all this when I couldn't get music on StreamYard. So this works perfect. What happened? I'm going to just let you see. Hi, EMT. You guys, I have 3,399 subs. One more sub, and I'll have 3,400. Oh, Emmett. E-M-I-T. See, I didn't see that. If somebody could sub me up, I'd be so happy. Even a couple of you, because I don't know. YouTube will take a few and give a few. And I mean, yesterday I was like, this afternoon I was at the 97 mark, and then I looked before my live. So anyway, and if I have a mod, which I don't know if it has to be the head mod, Mary Jane Doe. Hi, Sandra Ernest. If someone could put my Cash App or PayPal in, I would be remiss to not have that done. Let's put it that way. My son's trust fund is almost completely gone. Mine is gone. We tried to save some, but I don't drive. I don't have a car. You can only get 4 little bags of groceries on a bus at a time, and there is 3 of us. And so I'm sweating. So I'm like constantly. Anyway, I spent $15 just for a ride up the hill, just a mile away. Now, cab, right, it's 15 up or 16 and 16 back. So usually we walk, and then it's just 16 back. But then I always feel like I have to tip. So it's a lot, and it's every month, sometimes twice a month, and I'm getting a little nervous about it. I do get my Social Security, but it's not very much because I signed up for it when I turned 62. And now for the rest of my life, it's going to be 216. But I'm paying my daughter's phone bill for her beautiful phone she got herself for now until she, is able to find work. And I mean, it's a good sized town, 500,000, but if you don't have any experience, it's like they hardly don't want to give you a chance. So we're working on that, but it brings me down to 181 for all my toiletries per month. And I didn't have to worry as much when my mom was alive because she helped me. Not with a lot, but enough. Good 100 a month was like helping to take care of the cats and the kittens. So well, thank you, Cheek Pension. Yeah, that one is, what is that? That's PayPal. The $, it's actually $ paper cut Tina. Did you write that or type that? You probably did, and I thought I just saw paper cut. No, it is there. Thank you so much. And if you want to pop it in now and then, it'd be appreciated. I'll try to bring it up just 3 different times. And I'm not expecting anything, but everybody else, for the content they get and any kind of entertainment to pass the time, they're monetized, they're getting super chats and all kinds of things. So, anyway, here we go. I'm gonna turn the light off so you can see better. And what happened? You can't see it all. Good grief. Okay. So this is very quick. Where is it? Now, I thought I knew how to make a video, you guys. Uh-oh, it went dark. Yeah, I'm here. So you can see this better without the light above the thing. So this is really short. Every time I hit the volume, you guys, it would start the thing over again. Or no, it would stop the video. And I didn't know this. So I got little excerpts or small excerpts for the way there. All right. So this, what? No, start again. This is leaving today. Okay, this is my neighbor, which I don't even know his name, but he was at the playground with his dog, as you can see, and his little kids came up, and so this is me leaving today with my son to his gastroenterology. We went on bikes, and that is a real quick little, here we go. Okay, wait, what is that? Oh, my hand's in there. Hi. I gotta get my son to his doctor's appointment, hon. Or yeah, do it right now. Oh wow. Oh, how fun, a monster truck. Great things to have. All right. Oh, you got a little monster truck. That's cute. Oh shoot. Good grief. Oh my gosh. The whole iPad fell down. Slid down. Google Neck iPad. We caught it. The guy goes, good catch. Good grief. This was today. Holy cow. Parker's up there waiting for me. That doesn't happen again. Beautiful day. Thank you, Sherry.
Oh,
Thank you,
please
Wild
sit down.
Angel.
Okay, let me get in front of you here. He's got his backpack. Because he's got his U-lock in it. I don't know what direction I'm going. I think I want to go around. I don't want to bounce on the grass, so we have time. Okay, hold on. The volume isn't up anywhere. Okay, that's one short little video because I kept messing with the volume and it stopped the video. And I didn't know that until later. I am still learning.
Gosh.
Oops.
The color is so pinkish.
It's the same thing.
It's not all bright and just a beautiful.
Here we are. I didn't even know I was filming here. Well, I was hoping I was. Oh my God. Oops.
See, I had to film all this off the other one before I started my live. I had to do all of this.
Book is
Hi,
slippery.
Mary Jane.
Hold
No.
on. This book is slippery.
Bear with me on this part. I'm just letting it film.
It's not so slippery.
Well,
Probably
I'm
not.
trying to get it adjusted.
There's a hard book cover in here.
Oh, good grief.
Alright, this is a little less slippery, I think.
It's sliding off
This
this
is another little excerpt
stack of books I have.
Oh, come on. Jeez. See, I'm charging the phone right now.
Oh, the phone, the video. I mean the
I'm sliding around
iPad.
on this too. We'll open the pages. Let's see if that doesn't help, but it probably won't.
Night of the 27 on the elephant
Okay,
baskets, riding them in Thailand.
Except what do we got? The book is in the way now. Great.
Lord.
All right. Oops. There. All right. So this is the next one. I was still going all this time. Oops. Jeez. Waiting at the lights. Oh my God. I thought it was a little video. Why did it stop already? Is that it? That's it. See, this is what I mean. I was messing with the volume, but I didn't think it was messing with the video. But yes, it was. So we came all the way down one street and around another corner way back here. And we're getting close to halfway there. So we've gone pretty far. Oops. But, yeah. But we still got to go all the way up this hill straight ahead. This is Alabama, as you can see the sign there. Okay. Oops. And this is probably 2 seconds too, isn't it? Because I'm still at Alabama. Fiddlesticks, you guys.
It gets better, don't you worry.
When
I
you
get
have
it
2 iPads.
under control.
There. Okay, let's see how long this is. Oh, good grief. Okay.
Go.
And then, oops, we're there. This is, how long is this? This is probably really quick. We're right next door.
Careful, there's a spider on that one.
Oh.
Spider on that one.
Now see?
No, not the light.
Okay, I'm huffing and puffing. I'm leaning over in the sun.
We're locking our
I thought
bikes.
the camera was off. See? I think the camera off.
Thought I turned it off.
This is no profanity.
So I think the camera's off, and of course it isn't.
But the camera was off. I set the camera down on the ground. I literally thought the video had ended. We're locking up our bikes, trying to get in there. At the Fun Gastro. So it took us about a half hour to get there. We came up the opposite direction of those trucks going down. I haven't seen this. How long is it? Oh, see? Got my Mexican shoes on and my leggings. How long is it? Why doesn't it say how long it is? Maybe that's just for me. Oh my goodness. Yep, speeding. Oh my God. It's in.
No, it's not the right way.
He's having a hard time locking up his bike. He has to keep doing it and redoing it because of his OCD. But we have a certain check-in time, so we need to get there. Okay. I got your mask. Oh my gosh. No idea. The video is still going.
Thank you, Wild Angel. Thank you. It gets better. Gets full screen. It just gets better. Because I just set it down.
We're sitting in the sun. We're late for check-in.
Where's see my heart?
Here. A brand new blue one. Brand new out of the thing.
You said you only had yellow.
No, I have blue, purple, and yellow, and I didn't want to get you purple because you're already.
No, this has a mark in it. No.
No, that's brand new. All I did was fold it and stick it in here. Brand fucking new. You're not giving me COVID. It's new. I got it off the above the oven.
He wasn't going to wear it.
He's not believing me that it's new.
A new mask.
Where's the yellow one?
No.
Where's the yellow one?
It's bent. That's why it's changing a little color there. That's not anything. It isn't new. I brought you green one.
You said you're gonna get a yellow one. You said that you were leaving that and you're just doing what you want to do.
It doesn't matter. What color?
You're just doing what you want to do.
No, I grabbed you. I thought you would want a different color. I said I'll get you a new mask. I didn't say I'm grabbing you a yellow one again.
Well, I wanted you to get a yellow.
Why don't you read your mind? We have many discussions like this. Many. My
Yep.
God, I didn't know.
Because of his OCD.
Parker T-shirt. Is it from a theater? No, it's an office visit.
All right, so when I was filming it, I accidentally got the phone number on there, so I don't need that. So now I'm going to go to the next one. Oh, Lord. Wait, what is that? Okay. This is outside of it. Just very briefly.
Okay, this one's going now, and my son was like, "Oh, show him a picture of my new bike." So I am. The puppy.
That's his
He
nice
is
bike.
I got my yellow one next to it.
Hi, Kat.
The yellow one. It's a Hoo-Han. It's a Hahoo, Hahoo. These are both what are they called? Mountain bikes. Anyway, I think the Huffy is too. I know mine is. So that's just a picture. And here's the video, because there's a picture of the bikes a long ways away in the gastroenterology building. And now, this is the video. Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, God. Okay. All right, so there's that one, and that didn't even turn out. And then there's this, well, where's the one where I film outside a little bit? Oh, right here. Okay. We're leaving now.
See this Benz, however you want it.
We're leaving.
Leaving now, the gastroenterologist. I can't believe it hasn't fallen off yet. Right there. About a half-hour ride home, it's all downhill. Okay, hold on, I wanted to pretty much handlebar really quick to just show the mall area over there. We have a lot of little mall areas, Parker, in this town. Sunset over there, Bellis Fair.
Sunset's the other direction, and then that's Barclay.
Yeah, that was one of the longer ones. Well, we had so much to talk about. Who's that? Jeez. Yeah. My son needs a colonoscopy at the age of almost 30. Just had to, shit, why is this doing this? The Google Net keeps dropping down. I tighten it, tighten it. Alright. Might be the weight of the iPad. I mean, it's fine. I got 15 seconds still. So we ride on the sidewalk because it's the only safe place. It's a beautiful day. It's supposed to get up to 77. I think it got up to 75. Yesterday was pretty warm.
Yeah, Wild Angel.
Okay, I'm stopping again. Don't get upset. I'm bending this up.
They have to rule out.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
like that.
Well, I gotta have this up.
It's falling on.
It wasn't falling on the way here. There. first time on gravel that I attempt with this Google neck holder.
Good Lord.
That guy just zoomed in front of us.
We're gonna go down this trail and go down the other way. Get away from all this. Oh my gosh. Okay. No, I'm hanging on to it. So because it's jiggling.
Okay, I thought it was jiggling, but it's not
Yes, I can.
too bad. The update of iPad OS makes it pretty calm.
Never ever on this trail.
Been years.
Wait, I think we take a left here. Yeah. I was thinking we go further. Okay, this is a lot better because they're fixing the roads. There's nowhere to ride.
This is a really steep hill.
Parker's like, screw this. My mom keeps stopping.
It may not look steep, it really
It's
is.
still going. This is pretty up here, huh, you guys?
What the heck is that squeaking noise? I don't even know.
What a hill. I used to ride up this thing literally from the age of 40 up to, I would say 55 on my bike to get to the doctor because the doctor is right up there too. All right, here we go. Is that bumpy? I used to zip down this hill.
Fun to go fast, but wait till you
I don't
see.
want anything to happen to my iPad.
Wait till you see what happens when I almost get home, you guys. Wait till you see it. Think about this hill.
I knew you were gonna say something. That's why I started picking up on it. Oh, God. I'm an old lady, don't you know? I'm not 50 anymore. Oh, my God. Yeah, you are.
Asking right now.
I know, I got you on film. There he goes. He's got his prep. This is a pretty dangerous corner. Alabama is so darn busy. He got a prep for free, one of the small ones, because his insurance didn't cover up for a small prep. All right. And, oh, shoot. Now I gotta wait for all these vehicles because of the light.
He's right. Cars
Way
wouldn't
too
stop.
many. Oh. Why doesn't this thing want to stay snugly on like it used to? It's still going though. Oh my God. No. Jesus.
are great, Cat Swan. Hi,
Make sure no
everyone.
cars are coming down there.
Straight ahead right here is a huge Alabama hill
See
that
that? There's a car right there.
takes you to Whatcom, Lodell Donovan.
I think you should walk it. Well, that's why that guy thought he could turn in front of us because they try to gauge when your bike is going across. And for people that fall off their bikes, they boom, they're hit. It's still working. It reads 14 minutes and 27 seconds, but that's because I had to get my lock off and get it over.
They try to cut in front of you or even behind you when you're in the middle of the crosswalk. So you're supposed to walk your bike across all these crosswalks. I can see why now. Bellingham's like a miniature Seattle now.
Say again? He's turning. Okay, is it too heavy? There we go.
He had the prep in his backpack, along with his heavy U-lock. Yes, he's fine. You can never get across.
Yeah, we get to go now.
Oh,
Okay, watch out. Parker, you're not watching for cars. Just because we get to go doesn't mean you don't watch for cars. Hold on. He says, can you not go so slow? You can get home a lot faster. Well, I'm an old lady now. I like going fast, but I got my iPad. Because my iPad is my connection to the world. Let's go this way. We're not going on Texas. There's someone on the sidewalk up there.
No, they don't have a sidewalk.
No, we'll go on this little side road, but it's not Texas. And then look, put your arm out in case. God, look at that. Okay, I'm gonna film this really quickly. About 2 years ago, a guy got shot right here on this corner in Bellingham. All right. That's Texas Street. I don't know if it's bad now, but it's Drugville, Violentville. And actually, my son and his dad lived on that street in a rinky-dink apartment when we were first going through custody things and sharing him as a teen, sharing my son. And I was worried sick about him. Oh, Jesus. See what I mean? This is why your head has to be on swivel all the time, Parker, like this. Like this. You know? Parker knows how to ride a bike. for us on the way back anyway. Oh shoot, little teeny pieces of glass, but not too bad. Okay, here's a little coffee shop. No, I don't want a cocoa. Are you kidding? I'm gonna film this side of the store.
Why can't we get something here? Let's get something here.
We don't have anything to carry it.
Yeah, we can.
I got us cold coffees that time when Sheila and I were walking away.
No, I want to get a cocoa here.
I love the name. Okay.
And can I get a cocoa? Yeah.
No, we gotta get home. Parker, we gotta get home. Okay, we're like, now I gotta pay $15. I'm gonna ask him, Jesse, if he'll take us, come back and pick us up for $20. Otherwise, it's 30. And we're getting really low. I think Sheila will be back with her shoes. We'll all have to get
Got pre-made.
You get a drink. I want a drink. And then we gotta get Sheila one. And how are we gonna bike and carry? Oh my gosh. Come on now.
Not yet.
No, I know.
I have cold coffee from Bolt House, pre-made mocha, in a big
Probably gonna
jug.
say, this light car would hurry. Okay, come on. Zippity doo dah cross. That was sketchy, but it was way back there. All right, I'm gonna show something. This is Whatcom Creek. And I think my life tonight will be that explosion. This is how close to where we live now. When the pipeline exploded, and we're talking a couple boys were fishing in the creek. This creek lines all over the place. Died because of they were playing with matches, I think. There was gasoline in the pond. They were unsupervised. They were about ages 10 and 8. Or no, 10 and 10. Okay, this side, here's water.
I try to lift my bike. You can see the water.
This is part of Whatcom Creek. You guys see the creek down there at all?
Runs through the whole town.
This is the other side. It's up here at this corner.
Yep.
Up here. The pipe bomb happens over here. It's up here when you see the kids on top of the house and stuff. It's that corner, Iowa.
Welcome, Glacier Shark. Hello, what's up? Hit the like, you guys. This is a block and a half from where I'm living now.
There's someone down there with their dog.
Where
Just filming the creek. Hi. That's the creek.
that gets really high when it rains.
All right. So it's connected
It's
2 years later, 2000, 2001, when I moved into Regency Park up here.
so the pipe exploded a block and a half from where I live now.
Another teenager, 17, from high school, same high school my daughter went to, Seahome High School. He was fishing,
He's the one that was
and
fishing.
he perished because he was in the creek when there was all this oil and gases going through. So he probably succumbed to the fumes.
Yeah,
We'll watch the video together. You guys will be shocked.
you will be.
Absolutely shocked.
Looks like an atomic bomb went off.
I can't get up anymore. Watch. I'm going to try really hard. Let me get some speed. See if I can do it. I used to be able to do it. Put the gear all the way down. But I don't think maybe I can do it today. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Shit. Go ahead.
Sorry for the orgasmic
Put
sounds.
across now.
I haven't seen this video. Now watch. See how close I am to the vehicles on this teeny sidewalk? To the left, that's up just a teeny bit. Watch what happens down here. Yeah, look how fast I'm going. Look at that. Now, watch what happens.
See? And this is part of the creek. But there's no water.
Listen for the loud
Thank
you,
pop.
Glacier Shark.
See, it's
You'll
dry.
help me
Sounds
get
like
to
a gun. And over here.
3,000,
In Whatcom Creek. There's
400.
another direction.
Thank you.
Oh,
Watch.
steep
Any
hill.
second. Listen.
Oh,
There it
you
was.
hear that?
The loudest pop.
What the hell was
I
that?
thought it was a gunshot.
What was that, you guys?
I thought a bullet flew in front of me.
Oh my God, my front tire popped. Oh my God.
I have 3,399. I'll have
It sounded like a gunshot, I swear to God. Look at this, you guys.
3,400.
What if I was going fast down one of those hills? Look at my tire.
My front tire exploded.
Look at it, split apart.
The rim isn't even in the tire.
Look at it.
2.5.
Guys, look at my tire. My tire just exploded. I'm so freaked out.
All right.
And I'm home.
Listen to it again. Listen for the pop.
In Whatcom Creek. Goes the other direction.
Oh, good grief. Listen to the pop. Now you know where to expect it.
Any
second.
Oh!
Hear
You
it?
hear that?
Poochoo.
What the hell was that? What was that, you guys?
All
That
while I'm
bullet
flew in front of me.
Oh my God, my front tire popped. Oh my God.
Yep.
Sounded like a gunshot, I swear to God. Look at this, you guys.
I thought
What
the
if I was going fast down one of those hills? Look at my tire. Look at my tire.
that whole distance.
Split apart.
The rim isn't even in the tire.
Look at it.
2.5.
Guys, look at my tire. My tire just exploded.
I'm home. I'm
I'm
home.
shaking. I'm shaking. All those hills I went down, I would have flown over the front of my bike and literally I'd be on my way to the hospital with a broken arm at least. Oh my God, oh my God, that's never happened to me. I'm so freaked out. It sounded like a gunshot. I thought maybe a bullet just missed me.
I did.
That's Regency, and I take a left up there. Oh my God. What in the hell? Alright, I'm just gonna keep filming. I don't even know what to say or think about anything now. I'm so freaked out. I'm so freaked out at what could have been. I'm gonna literally. Thank you, Jesus, for keeping me safe. Oh God, I just can't. Can I even roll it? Oh. Alright, I can roll it. I can't ride it. And I didn't even pump it up again today. So it shouldn't have been overpumped. Is there a piece of glass that got in it? Look at the tire, you guys. It's a big, nice, thick, what is this bike called? Now I can't remember, but I'm not seeing anything sticking out of it. Look at this. Wait, will it even sit in the rim so I can get it home?
Hi, Raider.
I almost feel like crying. Now I gotta spend money on a damn tire? Ugh. Ugh. Oh my God.
I'm pushing it on the rim.
Look at it.
Hi, Raider. I need one of those after
You can see
today.
it on that far.
I'm literally home when it pops. If I
It's
had
riding on the silver rim.
If I hadn't gotten off my bike, think about it, to film those cricks because of the live I wanted to do tonight, I'm telling you, I'd be in the hospital with who knows
I'm
what.
gonna start putting my cash out in the Bitcoin, you guys, for my lives.
This is when I decided.
Parker's Trust Fund is, I'm just gonna say it right here. It's literally, and it has to get us to the store for gas so I can pay for my ride. Because you're only allowed, I think it's 4 little bags when you take a bus. I don't have a car. I don't drive. Parker's anxiety is sky high. I don't think he'll ever learn how to drive. Now, I gotta get a new tire. They're not too much though, are they? Maybe 35?
I cut up the grass.
Everybody else gets money for their content. If I do StreamYard, it can just stream across. I'll probably do StreamYard tonight. Look at this. Oh my God. Okay, there's the pool. See the pool?
You can't see it.
There's
It's
the hub to the right, all those gray boxes.
the pool is where the white fence is behind there. I filmed it on other lives.
My box is down there. I should check the mail. Oh, in here. I'm pretty shaken. I'm pretty shaken.
I've never had a tire pop, you guys, especially splitting 2.5 feet like that. Wasn't like running over a nail and the air slowly going out. God.
Oh, God. Unreal. I mean, I've had flat tires, you guys. I've never had one blow.
If that had popped when I was going down that teeny sidewalk, you know, for crossing, making it up that one hill, cars were going by me, you know. I stopped my bike to film the.
Can you believe it?
To film the pricks.
Can you believe it, Cat Swan?
Oh my God.
And I never stop there because there's no water in there. There's no reason to
Playground,
stop.
you know, that I always film. Oh, jeez. I'm like so stressed out. I'm just gonna go around the back.
The rim wouldn't even stay in the tire, you guys.
Golly.
This was today.
I'm like rolling it on a broken tire. That's not one little spot. I had to kind of carry it and lift the front. Didn't want to destroy the rim. Okay, I'm gonna take this off. Show you it again. How bad it is. It's like 2.5 feet long. There's the rim and there's the whole tire. That's how it's supposed to look. That's how it's supposed to look. Look at that. They're 2 feet long. It's literally. All right. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, so even watching that is intense for me because, whoops, was so unexpected, right? Oh, shit. Shoot. Good, my lid was on my soda. You know, you don't expect your tire to blow up, out, all over. And on the tire there was this long piece of black piece of tire. My ex-husband called, I think he called my son today, and I said, did you tell him what happened with my tire? And he said yes. So I told him more details, and thankfully he had me check the other tire, and he's gonna send on Amazon me a tire from Amazon. So that's really, really nice. So I told him it's a Hahoo bike, Hahoo. I think it's a mountain bike. It looks like it with those thick tires. He actually got it for my son, but the seat was just too small or something for my son. So I got one of those saddle seats to add to it. And I just fixed the brakes. One was too loose or something in it. Spent money on that about a week ago. So, I mean, you know, and remember way back, I said, gee, there's a little bit of glass. Joe said for it to pop like that, it was pumped up too much. But I told him I didn't pump it up again. And when I do ever pump it up with the $10 pump things, you know, when it's really, really low, it needs 11 to 12 pumps, right? And you know, when you stop pumping, you know when to stop because you can't push down any farther on the thing. And I never overdo it. And I've been riding bikes for 15 years, never had one explode. And that bike is only 3 years old. And it hasn't been ridden that much because I had the black Cannon bike that I rode a lot that was my daughter's, and just 2 weeks ago the tire fell off the front as we were carrying it down to Iowa Street, just past those creek bridges, to Jack's bicycle. So I was like, we got to toss this thing. So things were coming undone and all this. So yeah, now I have a little blue stationary bike, I guess it's called, with no gears. The pretty Robin's Egg blue ones that come with a basket and everything. I took the basket off. I bought it mm, 8 years ago or so for $50 from a friend, and it's nice. I mean, it's not for hills, of course. You don't have any gears. Who's going to stand up and pedal on this stationary bike? But I do have another bike, thank God. So I didn't ask Joe, my ex-husband, to send me money or to help me out or anything. So he's sending me a tire. But then I got to take it to Jack's Bicycle and have them put the darn thing on. And maybe, yeah, Beach Cruiser. Is that what it's called? Maybe I have to get another tube. I don't know how much things are now, but you know how, I don't know, it just, everything costs money, right? So that's why I'm grateful that some mods put in my Cash App and PayPal. Anybody that wants to donate to my channel, that's the kind of thing. I'd probably use it for a tube because he's sending me a tire, and then I gotta pay for the work. It was $25 fee, flat fee to get the brakes fixed, and then the brakes cost something, and now I can't remember. It was like 40 something altogether. So I don't know. If people think I'm grifting, I don't even care, because I'm broke, and both of my kids are grown adults, but one has special needs, my son, and yeah, it's all he can do to go into a place with his said not more than $10. Bigfoot? Who's Bigfoot? I don't even know. Oh, not more than $10 for a tube, maybe? Well, that's good to know. I've been to Fanatic Bicycle in this town of Bellingham, Washington, and I've been to Jack's Bicycle. And Jack's is so close. It's down over that little bridge to Iowa, where all the cars were going, and we jaywalked our bikes across there that time, and I said that was kind of sketchy because the car was way back, but it seems like when bikes are trying to cross where they're not really supposed to, they feels like they're speeding up or something. I don't know. And I mean, I'm usually really careful, but for years we've crossed there instead of going up the hill. And there's like 5-way lights, and it's just really sketchy and dangerous, almost more dangerous than jaywalk / biking there, almost. And so anyway, yeah, that was my day. And I mean, you guys, all of them are appointments. I'll come down that little sidewalk, and the cars and trucks are going up, the street there, really close to the apartment complex. And there's this much room for air because the sidewalk's like this wide. And I mean, I don't know, the timing is incredible. Now, even if I had kept going and didn't get off my bike there on the grass or around the corner or anything, if I was moving, I wouldn't have been going that fast like a hill, right? But I would have been going, and since it was my front tire, maybe because I wasn't going down a hill, I wouldn't slip over the front. If I was going down a hill, there's no doubt about it. On our way there, Parker wasn't really right behind me. I stopped my bike. His chain came off. I don't know how to put chains on, but I had black bike gloves because the pressure of the handlebars, the grooves in them, hurt my hand, literally leave marks. So I just took my gloves. His bike is new. He didn't want to turn it over. He said it would get scratched. I wanted it turned over on its seat. He wouldn't do it. So I was trying to get the chain on so we get to the doctor's appointment in time, and I was doing it on the upper, bigger one, and then I just decided to do it on a little one, and it worked. So he found out when he goes to gear 1, the easiest gear to get up Woburn, his chain will come off. But 2, 3, and the other gears, he's fine. So it's been quite a day. And my daughter didn't go with us. She took her she took herself to go buy a pair of shoes. She needed sneakers. So yeah, so my son's 29, my daughter's 21, but yeah, we don't. It's scary, you guys, especially kind of with the president we have, you know, trying to take people off SSI, you know, like probably my son saying he doesn't need it when his GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, is off the chain, and the OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, is just, he can't, now it's so bad, even though he's on sertraline, you know, Zoloft and stuff for anxiety and OCD. He can't play his games very well because he has to touch the things a certain way. He's always counting. He's always, OCD is a disease of doubt. You doubt everything. You doubt what people say. And that's why our conversation about the mask, you know, I stick up for myself, but he thought I just grabbed a dirty mask. No. Where it bent so I could put it in my backpack, it changed color, just the teeniest bit of yellow, and he thought it was dirty. And I'm just like, no. And then he wanted a certain color, and everything is, I have to do constant reassurance for things, like, I mean, just no, it's this, and no, it's that, and yeah, don't worry, I'm getting this at the store, and don't, yeah, I told you that 10 minutes ago, and yeah, and so they need constant reassurance. And then when you've got intrusive thoughts, right? Like if he can't watch scary movies on TV like other people because they ruminate in his brain, and then his brain says, oh my gosh, what if you could hurt someone like that? And so when he used to see a counselor, the counselor would be like, well, is there intent? You know, and my son's like, no. And he goes, okay, well then, you know, if there's no intent, then try to get your mind off the thought, even if you have to look at a box of Kleenex that's sitting in your room. Like, it's, I've read books on it, and high schoolers, 1 out of every 10 high schoolers, you guys, has a form of OCD, whether it's checking or counting or intrusive thoughts or whatever. 1 out of every 10. So it's pretty intense. I gotta charge this now. And and I have to have it upright this way with the cord sticking in, and now that yellow light is up there. That white light, I mean, well, yellow, white. Hi to the 27 on the elephants in Thailand in the basket chairs or whatever, instead of the bushes. Okay, there we go. So now, it's a little hazy. I don't know if the camera's dirty or what on earth is happening here. Let me say something. Is that better? Kind of, but not the light. Not the light showing. Oh, it's just so bright. Okay, so you guys, I'm like, okay, I've been on for almost an hour and a half, but I literally, found the explosion on here. Now, I believe it's affiliated with the news in Bellingham, so I can talk about it and stuff. I don't believe this is a YouTube channel. If it was someone's channel, I'm gonna have to sit out in the timeout chair, like one other time a year ago. I've had my channel a couple of years now. August 27th, or wait, today's the 27th. I think it was August 29th. I started my channel 2 years ago. Anyway, if for some reason I don't come back for 14 days, it's because I showed this video. but I'm going to risk it because I don't think it's YouTube. So I'm going to mute, find this video, and you guys will see what happened in this town in 1999 when my son was 3 at the time, 2.5, close to 3, and I was living in Linden with his father when the explosion happened. Linden is about 22 miles from Bellingham. It's a little Dutch town with like 43 churches, and you can't even mow your grass on Sunday, and this and that and the other thing. There isn't even a bar in that town, but we were living there because my ex-husband was working there. And when the explosion went off, it was the biggest, blackest plume of smoke that we could even see from Linden. So when I saw this video a few years back, and also, by the way, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but a year after the explosion, they did a memorial walk thing through, and I ended up being on the news. It was kind of amazing. I had my hair pulled back, and I had a blue bandana tied up with this blue t-shirt and blue overalls, and my son was just little, like that point 3.5, and I was pushing him in the stroller, and King 5 Seattle News lady came up to me with her microphone, and I've never been on TV, and she said, "Oh, what made you wanna walk on this memorial, whatever?" As we're walking, and I have it on a little VCR because I taped it from the news, and of course no one uses VCRs anymore, right? But I basically said, I felt it was important for me to be here because it just came out. This could be my child. This could be anybody's child. I think I said anybody's child, not my child. Anyway, and she said, "Okay, what is your name?" And I told her, and then she said, thank you very much." Yeah, so I was on the darn news, so that was kind of neat. But I just kind of forgot about the whole thing, and since then, where the trees burned up, I think they talk about it in the video, where the trees, we're talking, they were on fire. Because what happened was, when all the oils and gases from the explosion, that went into the creek, killed all these fish and anything along the way. But they said now the trees that fell over and burned are making it better or something for the salmon and for different ecosystem or something. So, but they spent thousands on not refurbishing, but whatever the word is, the Whatcom Creek. And I mean, the 2 little boys that died, the firemen that found them, 90% of their bodies were burned, and I'm not joking. One little boy said to the fireman, "Am I going to die?" And he said, no, you hang on there, don't you worry. And the fireman knew. I think his last name was Tobias, you'll see. Knew he was going to die. And he did. And he actually he quit his job. I'm pretty sure he was a firefighter. He might have been an EMT. So there's, yeah, it was really incredible. Hi, Brenda Chick. Thank you for being here. I was on the news once, fire in the building that you lived in. Oh my gosh. Brenda says, I was on the news before. They wanted my, shoot. The chat comes in and then it fades out. I got to keep my finger on here. On the news, they wanted to know how I felt about the trash pickup. My grandson and I was walking. Wow. And Wild Angel, you were in a really bad fire in the house or apartment you were in? Okay. Hi, Sidekick. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for coming in. It is later when there's not a lot going on. But, yeah. Emmett's here. Any other names I didn't see? I don't think so. Okay, so thank you so much. Please hit the like for me if you don't mind. And God bless to you too, Brenda Chick. Hope you're feeling okay these days. And hello to the 27 on the in the baskets on top of big elephants in Thailand, because instead of the bushes, in my mind, that's where you are, because I'm watching Survivor 5 with my daughter. And this is exciting and fun for me because neither of us have seen the entire episodes. Okay. Now, I'm going to mute while I find this, okay? In case advertisement comes up. All right, you guys, this is the news. I'm going to turn it this way so I can show you. Now, this one is comonews.com. I can't imagine I would come up on this. I think it was Como I was on, not King 5, but I don't think I'm in this one. If I am, I'm going to be shocked because I have no clue what. Okay. Ooh. All right, I'm going to turn the fan off so we can hear the sound better. This is comonews.com, June 10, 2019. It says, on this day, 20 years ago. Now that's in 2019. It was 20 years ago. I haven't seen this. I don't even know how long it is. Okay, it's 2 minutes. Good grief. Can you just please? This iPad's kind of slow. So no, I wouldn't be on this because this is 20 years later.
Chicken tacos.
Okay, what on earth is that?
Mainly put down until he died. George.
Okay, I don't Just a minute here. Oh, fiddlesticks.
Police yell for motorists to get Police yell for motorists to get moving as a huge wall of smoke and flames tears through the city of Bellingham.
It sounded like a truck running into the house. Big boom, the walls were shaking.
Frightened residents grabbed their children and headed for safety, some without even time to put on shoes.
I looked, and all I could see was big black clouds, and then I heard another couple explosions, and the clouds were coming up from port west.
People were just grabbing their kids and running, and it was so tremendous. I've never seen anything that huge in my life.
Just sickening.
See?
This home video taken minutes after the explosions as the fire races down Whatcom Creek.
Yeah, you could feel it. Yeah, it was like rumbling around. That's pretty bad. Scary.
Firefighters say a gas pipeline running through popular Whatcom Falls Park in Bellingham somehow broke, dumping gas into the nearby creek.
We could hear explosions as we were running out of there. We could hear them just boom, boom, and Ryan just covering his ears, just running. Yeah, it was pretty frightening. Yeah, I just couldn't believe. We're just so close to it. It's unbelievable. We just went down there hiking. Next thing we know, there's huge explosions.
Bellingham firefighters were in the area before the explosions, checking out reports of a gasoline smell in the air.
And we cordoned off the area. We began to start evacuation at the time the ignition occurred.
He says the fire moved a mile down the creek, burning the banks, destroying a house, killing one person, and injuring 2 children.
And it got blew up.
And as Ryan's dad heard and saw what was happening around his family, he feared for their lives.
It was frightening. You're totally out of control. There's nothing you can do. Just pray to God and run.
Okay, that was Iowa Street, which was just before the bridge. Now, that wasn't really that exciting, but just a second here. Okay, you guys, I'm going to read Bellingham
Cash into guaranteed cash this July at Bellingham Resort Casino.
Oh, sake.
Spend Saturdays to ride the progressive payout pipeline.
Oh my God. Okay, Bellingham, Washington on June 10, 1999. A fuel line ruptured in Bellingham, spilling 277,200 gallons of gas into 2 creeks and caused an explosion. Yeah, and Whatcom Falls is right up the hill up here. There's a cemetery, and then there's Whatcom Falls behind it. Killing one 18-year-old, I thought he was 17, he was 18, and 2 10-year-old boys. The Olympic Pipeline Company was pumping gas through a 16-inch pipeline from Ferndale to Seattle and Portland, according to historylink.org. A pressure release valve failed, and the pressure surge led to a rupture in the line, then pumping the hundreds of gallons of gas into the 2 creeks, which flow through Bellingham and dump out into Bellingham Bay. According to History Link, a strong gas smell was reported by 4:35 p.m. by an Olympic Pipeline employee. The Bellingham Herald reported a couple of residents nearby called in the gasoline odor before 4:30 p.m. Within 10 minutes, Bellingham Fire Department confirmed the gas flowing through the creek and started evacuating the areas and setting up barricades. And I don't know if that's very true. They didn't know what on earth the smell was, and I think it was longer than 10 minutes in the video I saw. The firemen were even talking, like, what is this and what is this? And people were calling and what's going on. At 4:55 p.m., the explosion occurred. A massive fireball sent a huge plume of smoke 30,000 feet into the sky. History Link reports the smoke was seen from Vancouver, BC to Anacortes. Interstate 5 was closed down in areas. Interstate 5 is the main interstate to Seattle. And I lived 22 miles away in Linden. Liam Gordon Wood, who was 18, was fly fishing on Whatcom Creek. He was overcome by noxious fumes and fell into the creek. So sad, drowning before the explosion took place. Investigators found the reason the explosion happened when it did was because of the two younger victims playing north of the Hannah and Whatcom Creek confluence. Wade King is one of the 10-year-old boys, and Stephen Tsarvis, both 10, were using a butane fireplace lighter, to light off fireworks earlier in the day outside of the park. I didn't know that. I thought they were playing with matches. Okay. The boys inadvertently lit the lighter near the spill, and the gasoline vapor was ignited. The boys were both injured and taken to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. They had extensive burns covering over 90% of their body. Both of the boys died the next day. No other deaths and very few injuries occurred from the explosion. The explosion and fire were contained by 6:30 p.m. and nearby residents were only without power for a short time. So that's 2 whole hours of mayhem around here. No other deaths and I already read that. Authorities were astounded with the light damage done to properties from the explosion. One home was leveled, and some properties where am I? One home was leveled and some properties lost their windows from the blast. The cause of the fire was fuel released from the Olympic pipeline, said the then Bellingham mayor, Mark Asmundson. The fact that it was ignited was inevitable. With the thousands and thousands of gallons of fuel that were proceeding down Whatcom Creek, had the ignition not taken place where it did, and at the time it did, the damage to this community and the loss of life would have been far greater. These boys, completely without notice or any awareness, were involved in an action that ended up being heroic for the city of Bellingham. The National Transportation Safety Board spent 3 years investigating the explosion. They found a series of events led to the explosion, citing damage caused by IMCO General Construction Company in 1994 while conducting excavation work at the Whatcom Falls Water Treatment Plant. Failure of the Olympic Pipeline Company to identify or repair the damage. Faulty computer system. Failing to report the pressure buildup inside the pipeline, and a faulty pressure relief valve, and the failure to adequately train employees. Okay, and I heard more than that. Apparently there was like a crack, and one of the workers that checked it saw that and ignored it. Okay, in another thing. The parents of the young victims filed a wrongful death suit in July of 1999, naming the Olympic Pipeline Company and 3 of their employees and the Equilon Pipeline Company, both winning settlements. The Environmental Protection Agency filed a 7-count indictment in federal court against Olympic Pipeline and Equilon Pipeline Company after conducting a criminal investigation. Under a plea agreement, the companies agreed to pay $112 million to settle all federal criminal fines and most of the civil claims against them. So what I want to do is find the really cool video. Okay, so we just heard that one, and this is Facebook Bellingham Herald. The exact same thing. So let me look here. Okay, this is a really good picture. This is the burned. Look at that. That's a crick burned black. Okay, back in 1999. Oh, that's just part of it there. This one's a little bit better up closer. Maybe not. Okay. These are the three people that passed away. Okay, you got the high schooler Liam on the left and the two young boys. Okay, there's Liam. Wait. Right there, and the two young boys. Okay, and it says right there, whoops. Can't imagine. And then, let's see if this is video. I want to go to videos. I think I found it. So, Disaster Bellingham, YouTube, City of Bellingham, Washington. Okay, I don't think I'll get in trouble for this. YouTube, plainly difficult. That one will get me in trouble. Disaster, Bellingham. Oh, wow. There's a memorial down there now by the creek and everything. Yeah. Where's the one I want to show? And apparently, you guys, oh, that was 10 months ago. Okay. There was one in Texas. That was a while back. Okay, so fines from 1999 pipeline tragedy helped pay for these environment. All right, so let's get back to this one. These are videos. When a creek turned to fire. Wait. 2 weeks ago, Microsoft News, dark records. What? Okay. Am I gonna get in trouble?
What happens when the lifeblood of a community turns into a fiery inferno? In the picturesque city of Bellingham, nestled between dense forests and the sparkling bay, two essential lifelines course through the heart of the community. Whatcom Creek, a haven for salmon and childhood adventures, and the Olympic Pipeline, vital for the region's mobility. Both are integral to daily life until they violently cross paths. It's a perfect summer's day in Whatcom Creek Park. Two young boys are enjoying nature and playing by the stream. However, in an instant, this town's peaceful existence erupts into a violent...
Oh, gosh sakes. Oh, golly. Good grief, you guys. Maybe I shouldn't even... I don't even know if I can show that for sure. Maybe I can. I mean, I don't know what I'm allowed to show. Oh, this was 2 weeks ago. I better not show it. Any more of it. Can someone put the disclaimer in chat for me? YouTube, Pipeline Safety Trust, King 5 Seattle News. Residents in Bellingham hold ceremony 25 years after deadly pipeline. All right, so I'm going to show this. It was a really big deal, you guys. Oh, fiddlesticks. This is just ridiculous. There we go. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm glad for all that are still here. Man. All right. And I think the lighting will be better if I turn this off. Okay, this is King 5 Seattle News. I won't get in trouble. It's 2 minutes and 50 seconds long.
Score these doorbuster deal.
Oh my God. Happened? I keep hitting the wrong thing. Gosh. Okay.
There are some things in life that are too tragic, too shocking,
The pipeline ruptured, spilled, and exploded, and 3 boys died.
and too frustrating to forget.
So, aghast at the negligence,
For the people of Bellingham, like Bill Karam,
everything in that creek died.
the day the Olympic pipeline leaked nearly 300,000 gallons of gasoline and caught fire is one of them.
And we want to make sure that this story is never forgotten.
Now, exactly 25 years later, hundreds came together to pray over cherished items that belonged to the victims. 18-year-old Liam Wood and Wade King and Stephen Sorvis, who were both just 10 years old. 26 acres of trees and vegetation also burned, and more than 100,000 fish were reported dead. Neighbors were infuriated.
Within a couple of weeks of the explosion, they were going to put the pipeline back in the ground and get it going again, even though they had no idea how it had failed. And the citizens of Bellingham said, no, that's not going to happen.
Bellingham locals held the Olympic Pipeline Company accountable.
They advocated for the formation of a national watchdog organization over the pipeline industry and its regulators.
In the quarter century since, they've worked with lawmakers
And prevented certain communities and families from experiencing that grief.
We will not sacrifice our children. We will not sacrifice our lands.
Always keep Maddie White, King 5 News.
All right.
Following that explosion, Washington congressional leaders pushed to tighten the regulation of natural gas and liquid fuel pipelines. The Pipeline Safety Act passed in 2002. It gave federal safety regulators the authority and resources needed to improve personnel training, increase penalties for safety violations, and improve inspections. States were also given more authority to regulate pipeline safety. The Washington Utilities and Transportation Commission now oversees more than 45,000 miles of natural gas and liquid fuel pipelines across Washington state.
And bigger kids.
Oh my God, thank God.
Children before them.
Okay, I'm starting it over.
And 3 Bellingham lives would soon be destroyed.
Thank you. I didn't know the sound was off. Thank you.
Bellingham has several beautiful urban parks, and in 1999, Whatcom Falls Park was arguably its finest. A genuine 240-acre jewel, the park and its old-growth forested creeks, waterfalls, and pools were a place of quiet and serene walks on shaded, cool trails. Parents and children came to look at tiny trout in the park's state-run hatchery.
Well, someone
and bigger
put-
kids often repeated the antics
I've
of
jumped off
generations
that
of
cliff
children
before. It's really intense.
Tim Wall is with the Bellingham Parks and Recreation Department and has vivid childhood memories of playing in Whatcom Falls
Someone
Park.
put the copyright disclaimer in chat for me, pretty please.
We didn't have a community that walked or biked as much, but we did. We'd go deep into the recesses of the gorge, as we called it, to get away from everybody and to see these incredible waterfalls and to sit in the water and dive in. There were some great little swimming pools all up and down.
A stone bridge at the upper falls on Whatcom Creek is a city icon, a beautiful legacy of Chuckanut sandstone built during the lingering Great Depression in 1939. The creek itself relinquished occasional trout to skilled anglers, and the forested ravines provided secret hiding places for imaginative children. Also along the creek is the city's only water treatment plant, gathering water from Lake Whatcom a few miles upstream at the start of Whatcom Creek. Downstream, the creek leaves the park
Thank
and
you,
becomes
Mary
an
Jane
urban
Doe.
stream in a forested corridor as it
See?
twists its way 2 miles through crowded commercial,
2 miles.
residential, and retail neighborhoods to Bellingham Bay and the sea. But on the afternoon of June 10th, 1999, things began to unravel in Whatcom Falls Park. One of the first individuals in Bellingham to become aware of anything out of the ordinary was Ryan Provencher. In 1999, Ryan had been with the Bellingham Fire Department for 2 years. He was part of an engine company responding to a routine 911 call.
And a call came in for an odor investigation. So that's a very routine call. There was certainly no indication of any sense of urgency or anything out of the ordinary. So we responded to the corner there at Iowa and Woburn Street, and Captain Jaquish got out to investigate, and I was still in the aid rig that I was driving, and I could see from where I was sitting that his eyes got huge as he looked over the bridge, and right then I knew that this was a little bigger
See,
than
that
what we
was
thought
the
it was gonna
bridge that I filmed earlier.
Woburn and Iowa Street crosses
See, there it
Whatcom
is.
Creek as it spills out of Whatcom Falls Park and heads toward downtown Bellingham. The routine odor investigation
2 blocks
was
from here.
calls about a gasoline smell in the vicinity. Gasoline has a very distinct smell, and even a trivial amount of it can release a very strong odor. But what the firefighters saw when they looked down on the creek as it passed under the bridge was no small amount.
Look at that.
It looked like a river of gasoline. Just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I mean, it was literally just free-flowing gasoline, and the vapors went as high as you could see. It just blurred the whole landscape behind the creek. The vapors were so thick.
The first responders' simple odor investigation had now escalated into a full-scale materials spill of enormous proportions. It was clearly not a matter of if, but rather when.
See, that's
the vapors of
Alabama
gasoline
Hill.
would
That's the
ignite.
road we passed on our
The air needed
bikes
to be
earlier.
secured, the source of the spill located, and citizens evacuated from the park. More fire and police units were dispatched. Ron Morehouse is the fire department's battalion chief, and at this point he arrived at the Woburn Street site and established a command center.
It just seemed inevitable that something was going to happen. So my main concern was to get people evacuated and try not to have any of our people in the way at the time. There was so many fumes, and it was, like I say, normally we get a little bit of a south wind there. I just couldn't imagine that many fumes blowing through that many businesses and households. And of course, right away I didn't know whether it went to the freeway or not. The one thing that was kind of good is that they got Woburn and Valencia closed right away, which are the only bridges until you get to the freeway. So there weren't people driving through it, but I just didn't believe that we could be so fortunate for there to be that much fumes and product going down the creek and not find an ignition source somewhere.
See,
By
people
now,
didn't
a
know what
growing
was
number
wrong.
of concerned residents were smelling gasoline and calling both 911 and KGMI radio to report the odor. KGMI radio called the fire department's public information officer, Bill Boyd, to find out what exactly was happening. But Bill was at home that day and he didn't know about this problem. Yet.
I hadn't been made aware of it, so I said, hang on, I'll call you back. So I called our dispatch center, and they said, in fact, they had some kind of unknown fuel leak. It appeared to be fairly large, and that they were going to be shutting down several streets along Iowa and Woburn. Well, that's a big deal because it was coming up on rush hour, so I felt like I needed to get that information out to the media. So I called back to KGMI. They said, hang on just a minute, we'll put you live and you can give a report. About that time, the phone went dead.
Meanwhile, in an effort to find out where all this gasoline was coming from, firefighters Ryan Provencher and Kelly Devlin were assigned to drive around to the entrance of Whatcom Falls Park, evacuate anyone there, and see if they could find the source of the fuel spill.
So he and I jumped into the aid rig that I was driving. We went in to Whatcom Falls Park and started walking towards the water treatment plant, just trying to get an idea of where this was coming from. And as we walked, we would pass by people and we'd ask them, did they see anything? Did they smell anything? No. There was no evidence of anything from the direction that we were
This isn't 10 minutes,
and,
like the news said.
We were just crossing the little footbridge towards the water treatment plant when the explosion occurred.
The flames and smoke came down the valley out of the park. And all I remember is it completely filled the V of the valley there in the trees, and it was above the fireball was above the trees.
Just a huge boom. And then it sounded basically like a jet plane flying through the creek bed. It was just a rumbling sound.
Oh my God.
So we definitely were lucky.
So glad I was in Linden.
Closer than we were.
Not in this town then.
Thinking was, I thought, well, there's product on the creek, can't be that much. It's just gonna burn for a few minutes and then it's gonna die down and the problem will start going away. And I remember it was like 15 or 20 minutes. It's still just roaring, and I'm just going like, my God, what have we got? I just couldn't imagine that there was that much product that it didn't just kind of burn right off.
911, there's a big smoke. The sky is smoking. 911, yes, I'd like to report an explosion. Okay, this is Alabama Hill. 911. Yeah, I'm sure you already received a call about a huge fire on Alabama Hill. Okay, 911.
Yeah, I'm on Iowa Street. I just saw like a very big explosion.
Do you know what exploded? 911.
There's been an explosion. The whole side is black.
911.
Yeah, my doors went off and there was a big boom outside.
Right, we are on scene.
Okay.
Immediately after the explosion, the huge black ball of smoke that engulfed the creek was visible for miles. The sound of the explosion was muffled by the thick forest around the blast site, and it wasn't heard throughout the city. Only those close enough to smell the fumes could know that the towering black wall had anything to do with a burning river of gasoline.
My neighbor came running down the street screaming, saying, what's going on in town? What's going on in town? And I said, well, we've got a gas leak, and I'm going down to find out. She goes, no, there's something else. She goes, look. And I turned around and saw this unbelievable wall of boiling smoke rising up, straight up in the air. And about that time, my wife came out, and I just basically said, don't count on me coming home tonight. I'll see you probably sometime tomorrow.
For everyone else, including the press,
See?
the massive column
That's
of smoke
2
was
blocks.
a mystery of unguessed origin.
That's 2 blocks from where I'm living now. All of this.
Black cloud. And
Can't believe
it was moving, as we looked at it, from right to left. It was moving downstream. And because what we'd heard on the scanner earlier, we knew that it was the creek that was blowing up, basically. We didn't really
understand exactly why, but we knew that's where the explosion was.
We couldn't, the scanners and those sorts of things stopped working, that the police and the fire department people couldn't get through. Everybody was using their cell phone, the phone lines were down, power went out in parts of town, and it became kind of a scramble to make sure that we could figure out all the things that were happening and why.
I remember being over there and watching the flames and thinking, this is unbelievable. There are no words when you're watching something like that. It was like a blowtorch.
As the deadly flames and smoke roared downstream, consuming hundreds of thousands of gallons of gasoline that had spilled from somewhere into the creek, property and life alongside the creek were in immediate peril. As the firestorm left the park, it entered a residential and heavily commercial area behind Bellingham's Auto Row on Iowa Street. Beyond that was the freeway and then more residential neighborhood, the Civic Center, and downtown Bellingham before entering the bay at Georgia Pacific's pulp mill. But time and resources were limited. The fire was moving like a freight train down the creek in its unchecked advance toward the sea. Carl Weimer was the executive director of the Restore at the mouth of Whatcom Creek in 1999.
Growing over the top of Bellingham was this ghastly black cloud that looked like an atomic explosion. We all stood there stunned, and we turned on the radio trying to figure out what was going on, and it took a long time for there to be an announcement that there was fuel in the creek and it was running down Whatcom Creek. Well, we were standing looking right at Whatcom Creek and realized we needed to get out of there. We rushed around, locked up the store, made sure no one was in, and then all got out of town. And I lived in Ferndale at the time, and I actually took out to get out of town because I knew enough about air quality issues. I was really worried about what was in that cloud as it came back down, listening to the radio on the way. And the cloud affected me emotionally in a way that I have never been affected before, and I actually had to stop my car before I got all the way back to Ferndale and just stop and get out and breathe because it was such a scary thing seeing that cloud.
Well, I was at the Bellingham City Council offices, and myself and some other city council members were picking up our packet for our Monday meeting, which we do generally every Thursday. And someone came through the council offices and said we need to evacuate the building.
It was clear as the fire event unfolded that not only emergency services would be called into play, but soon important executive decisions would have to be made. The mayor, Mark Osmondson, was on a trip in Russia. By city charter, this placed Councilman Pat Rowe, who was the mayor pro tem, in the city's executive position.
As we're leaving the building, we could actually see the smoke from the city council outside the city council chambers. And it was mentioned to me at that time by one of the other city council members that, listen, you're mayor pro tem, you may be put into action. We don't know what it is yet.
By now, emergency officials were becoming acutely aware of where all this gasoline in the creek was actually coming from.
The only way that we could have that much fuel in the creek was due to a ruptured pipeline. Originally, we thought maybe there was a tank car that overturned up off of Electric Avenue, got into the creek and came downstream. But we quickly realized that can't be the case. We knew there were two pipelines that crossed Whatcom Creek. One was at that time was Trans Mountain, and the other one at that time was Olympic Pipeline. And we had representatives from both organizations, both companies show up at the scene. Yeah, and the Olympic Pipeline person actually was there first and said, we think this is our pipeline. Interestingly enough, the Olympic Pipeline person that showed up was either a chemist or some kind of employee who lived in the area and was driving home through that area, smelled the fuel, called back to his office to say, you got something going on with the pipeline? And they essentially said, we're not sure yet, we're looking into it. And he went, this has got to be our pipeline. And he made contact with our incident commander fairly early on in the incident.
Everyone's most dreaded expectations were met when two boys aged 10, Wade King and Stephen Sorvis, who were playing together in the park, were found horribly burned. Second and third degree burns covered 90% of their bodies. Ambulances were hindered by streets clogged with vehicles and drivers trying to get a closer view of the wall of smoke. The boys were able to talk for a while, Wade asked that his mother not look at him because he didn't want her upset. Later, a first responder would say that when Stephen asked me if he was going to die, I knew the answer was yes, but I couldn't tell him the truth. All I could say was, "We're going to take good care of you." A third young man, Liam Wood, had just graduated from high school. He was an avid fly fisherman and had come to one of his favorite holes in the creek to try his luck. Liam was found dead in the creek, apparently overcome by thick gasoline fumes when the water turned milky white and the canyon filled with a toxic vapor cloud. Liam was overcome by the vapor, fell into the creek he loved, and drowned.
The firefighters who treated the two severely injured boys that subsequently died were significantly impacted. One of which had shortly thereafter gave up his paramedic certification and basically said, "I can't do this anymore." He had a child that was about the same age and just said, I can't do it. The other paramedic that was involved, he has kept his certification, but he was significantly impacted and affected as well. We see things in the fire service that nobody should have to see. We know that when we sign up, it takes a special person to deal with it, but everybody has their point at which they struggle with dealing with situations. And this was probably one of the most horrific medical situations that we had to face, we being as a fire department. And the paramedics and EMTs that responded and helped those kids out gave them the greatest possible chance of survival, but they knew early on there was no way. And that's tough to deal with.
Although the gasoline moved all the way down Watkin Creek to Bellingham Bay, for some inexplicable reason, the killer fireball itself stopped miraculously at a point in the creek just short of the freeway, sparing everything further downstream from the hellish nightmare that had just suffocated and broiled the upper creek and everything in it. Earl Steele runs the hatchery at Maritime Heritage Park, 2 miles further downstream from where the fireball stopped.
We lost approximately 18,000 rainbow trout. They were in the hatchery. They were just very small fry. And so it was a very low number of fish that we actually lost. We had just released 1.2 million fall Chinook 2 weeks earlier, and it was right around 10,000 pounds of fish.
But the event was not over yet. The fires continued to rage along the upper creek and on private property adjacent to the creek. And then, just as things were settling down about 10 p.m., Public Works reported highly explosive gasoline vapor levels in the sewer system. Ron Morehouse remembers the chill this sent down his spine as he began organizing evacuation of a major portion of the city.
And I remember thinking at that point that I'm going to blow up Bellingham just like Mexico City, with all this gasoline in the sewers. So we started talking about a plan to evacuate. Basically, the post office had already evacuated. We talked about, what else are we going to have to evacuate?
I remember reporting a story where the fire chief, it did get into the sewer system, and they had all the buses lined up to evacuate the entire city, and they were worried that the gas was in the sewer system and it was going to blow up into everybody's bathroom and kitchen. And the fire chief, they were just about to make the evacuation call when he said, "Let's test it one more time." And they put a probe down into a manhole cover, and it just started to go down. And they called off the evacuation. So there was a lot of weird stuff going on. And it could have been, the whole town could have burned down.
I remember the look on Dale Brandlin's face when I told him we were going to have to evacuate the jail. He says, "I've got 204 inmates and I think 3 jailers." He says, we're going to just have to let them open the doors and let them go.
But
at that time, there were some state officials and national officials, safety officials that were coming in. They made it there very quickly to have a discussion about what was happening. And as we were sitting in that meeting, everybody was trying to talk about who should do what, who is in charge of this and who's in charge of that. I jumped in and said, listen, the city of Bellingham is in control of everything until we decide otherwise. And all of the other agencies there from the state and the federal agencies suggested, yes, that is indeed the case. That was a very important thing to get handled and taken care of, because now everybody was aware that the city of Bellingham was in charge.
Another major concern was Bellingham's water treatment plant, which sits very close to the spot where the Olympic pipeline crosses Whatcom Creek. The area was ground zero. A crater large enough to hold a truck had been blasted by the explosion here, and although the treatment plant itself sustained little damage, the pump house was nearly destroyed, and temporary pumps were flown in as replacements. The damage to the creek and land downstream from this site for 2 miles was unbelievable.
It was overwhelming to walk through there and just see the aftermath. It was very overwhelming and sad and just, I remember wondering at the time, how are we ever going to fix this?
What hit me the strongest was how fast something so precious, something that we enjoyed, the rocks we sat on that are covered with moss and ferns, how fast that took to burn up. That was my main thought, was just how quickly we can destroy something.
By the third day of the event, Mayor Mark Osmondson was back in Bellingham from Russia. The first item on his agenda was a tour of the site.
When I got on site, even though it had exploded, when I was in Russia, when I first came back to Bellingham, and which was like 2.5 days after the election, by the time I finally got to Bellingham and got to the site of the explosion behind the water treatment plant, the ground was still burning. It wasn't smoking, it was still in flames. And then I walked along the creek, and my reaction was, holy Mother of God, what has happened here? This is just unimaginable. And then in talking, of course, to people that were in the vicinity and physically saw how fast something.
It was overwhelming to walk through there and just see when I first
trying to make it smaller,
and which was like
so we don't have to have the chin cut off.
By the time I finally got to Bellingham and got to the site of the explosion behind the water treatment plant, the ground was still burning. It wasn't smoking, it was still in flames. And then I walked along the creek, and my reaction was, holy Mother of God, what has happened here? This is just unimaginable.
Trying to make the screen smaller, and I'm not able to do it.
In the vicinity, and physically saw the plume of smoke and stuff. I mean, these are people will never forget that day, and and I'll never forget the sense of determination and resolve I had.
Yeah,
that
that's
we
the
were going to do
falls. I've
something
been
about
there
it.
many times.
I think going to the site immediately upon coming to Bellingham.
Sorry, his chin's cut off.
What?
Good grief.
I don't know if the word is stiffened my spine or galvanized my determination, but it really created a basis for an intensive focus on making change.
On June 10th, 1999, over 230,000 gallons of gasoline were dumped into Hannah and Whatcom Creeks as the pipeline split and dumped fuel unchecked into the waterways. The event was not an isolated accident. It was caused by a series of problems at Olympic Pipeline and its operation and maintenance of its pipeline. If any of these problems had been corrected in a timely manner, the tragedy would not have occurred.
At the time this pipeline blew up here in Bellingham, there was no regulation that once you put a pipeline in the ground, you ever had to inspect it again. And we have pipelines that are 60, 70, 80 years old in the ground, and there was no regulation that said you ever had to inspect it again.
The city had a franchise agreement with the pipeline company for a number of years, which had expired in the early
How do I
90s.
make it smaller?
And the city tried to negotiate a new plan. Had been basically resisted by the pipeline company. So the pipeline company, by their own decision, was on a month-to-month basis on a franchise agreement. And instead of paying at the first of the month, they were paying at the end of the month. So technically, at the time of the blast, they had not paid their franchise fee or out of compliance.
So there was no agreement for the use of that park property at the time of the explosion, which gave Mayor Osmondson some leverage for saying to Olympic, oh, our easement agreement has expired. We're not going to give you an agreement. We want the pipeline shut down until you meet our demands. And that's kind of the leveraged cooperative agreement that came out of Bellingham. They never took it to court to find out how far the mayor could get away with trying to set pipeline regulations that way, because Olympic went along.
And then as the facts came out, it was even more clear why this tragedy happened, because because of the negligence of a company, as well as the lack of aggressive laws and regulations that gave direction on how we should be testing these pipelines.
I think one of the ways that Bellingham responded uniquely that you don't see in other places with disasters like this, we really came together to help not only those families, but the community in general heal. And we stepped up and decided that we were going to take this disaster and turn it into the best we could out of it. And I think there was some significant community building that went on because of that, both restoring the creek and really marching on the federal government to change pipeline safety so it wouldn't happen to any other community.
Creek is beautiful
It's
now.
tragic that those incidents had to happen to wake up Congress and the pipeline industry for the need for improving our pipeline safety laws. But it is a legacy as well for the families that the pipeline safety laws have increased because of their continued activism as a result of these tragedies.
As human beings, we have the ability to choose how we are going to react to those bad things. And I think the way Bellingham reacted, I think the way Bellingham community citizens reacted, the way city government reacted, and ultimately the way our state and federal legislative bodies reacted, created the only positive outcome that you could look for, which is a dramatic reduction in the likelihood that such an event will occur again.
In addition to the work of strengthening local and federal regulation of pipeline safety and restoring the community's sense of safety, the city also started work on repairing the overwhelming environmental disaster along the Whatcom Creek corridor that had been destroyed by fire and explosion. Claire Fogelsong is the city's environmental resources manager.
And over the course of that first couple of days to a week, we realized that everything was dead. All the insects, all the fish, any birds that had been in the area, all the other aquatic like lampreys and crawfish and things. There were just big piles of them all down the stream where they collected in eddies. And that was pretty saddening. We can still conjure up that sadness pretty easily. It was, from an ecologist point of view, it was pretty devastating to think that a whole stream had been wiped out.
Claire worked on the city's negotiation team to establish a settlement that would pay for restoring the damaged site and mitigate the loss to the community. In that regard, he met immediately with negotiators from Olympic Pipeline.
It was very obvious from the beginning they had a lot of practice, and that was comforting on one level, but discomforting when you thought that they're used to this. And they were sort of entertaining because they had such an attitude that was way too big for the room. One of the consultants showed up with a 10-gallon hat, a cowboy hat, but they were required to wear hard hats up at the water treatment plant. So this was a plastic 10-gallon hat that met the specs for hard hats, and I thought that was pretty entertaining.
Renee LaCroix is one of the city's environmental coordinators. For the past 10 years, she's been managing restoration projects along Whatcom Creek in the area devastated by the fire.
Because of the settlement, the city ended up with a substantial amount of new property that came to the city as part of the settlement, and we also received some settlement money. And so between those two, we were in a very good position to go in and do some pretty large-scale projects. There's a group of trustees that helped formulate the restoration plan, and they came up with a lot of different project ideas, and there were 3 large-scale projects that resulted from all of that. The Cemetery Creek project, the Salmon Park project, and the Red Tail Reach project. And both the Cemetery Creek and the Salmon Park project were constructed in 2006, and they're both large-scale projects that were meant to increase the salmon habitat available in the Whatcom Creek system. The Cemetery Creek project remeandered an entire section of Cemetery Creek that had been ditched previously, created riffles and pools and bends and meanders and large woody debris.
Wow.
We also created 3 large, what we call inline pools. They were just pools that were along different stretches of Cemetery Creek. And all of that contributes to the habitat diversity in the Whatcom Creek system. And then the Salmon Park project was allowed the creek to meander into a historic backwater area, and that backwater area had been cut off from the main stem of Whatcom Creek from dredging and taking the dredge spoils and putting them in a berm type situation. So the creek wasn't allowed to overflow into this old backwater area, and so we ended up excavating out part of the berm and then letting the river excavate out the rest of the berm, so now it can inundate this old backwater area. Again, great juvenile habitat. One of the most amazing things that I've seen happen in Whatcom Creek is that as a result of the fire, a lot of the trees, most of the trees right along the stream banks were burned. And in the 10 years since then, a lot of those trees have fallen into the creek because of the wind. And that large woody debris ends up in log jams, and the log jams force the creek to meander, to bend and meander. And so for years, Whatcom Creek was very straight, and it had berms on both sides from the dredging. And so as a result of the fire, and all this wood that had entered the system, it now has bends and meanders and has a much more natural riffle pool ratio. And so there's much more habitat available in Whatcom Creek than there ever was even previous to the fire.
I think if you can go to any one place as a pedestrian and see things, I would go to to where the north end of Racine Street butts up against the stream. There's a bridge there now. It's the apex for 3 big restoration projects. It has a totem pole that was put there.
I'm going to take a picture of the totem pole tomorrow. It's a block and a half from here.
So it's a very special place. It's where we staged when we were doing a lot of the restoration work. And so it has a lot of meaning for those of us that were involved with that stage of the event. And now it has a lot of meaning just because of it's an access point to the creek.
I think this pipeline is pretty safe right now. I mean, there's greater regulations on this pipeline because of agreements with the city of Bellingham than there is on most any other pipeline in the country. The pipeline's also been inspected more times than most any other pipeline in the country, and we have more valves to prevent these types of things in the future.
You know, you talk to people now in the pipeline world or the oil refinery world, this pipeline's the safest pipeline in America. It's the most monitored pipeline in America.
I would hope that when something as bad as this happens in our small town, you know, and we lose 3 of our young people and lose sort of our sense of security about some of our public places and that sort of thing, that it would remain top of mind. But 10 years is a long time.
The energy that resulted from that, the energy in the community that resulted from that explosion and that tragedy, and turning that energy into something tangible and concrete, like strengthened laws, I think is a good example that can be applied anywhere to any set of issues.
A small town in Northwest Washington that is united and determined can make a fundamental change in the regulatory environment that affects one of the most powerful and wealthy business interests in the United States. That is the oil industry.
Yeah. guess it's backwards when we're trying to read it, but I don't know how to fix it. So the population here now is 500,000. Dedicated, see, to Wade King and Stephen Tavares. This program was. You hear the birds a moment. So when I, no. Shoot. When I didn't get the complete logistics of where this was. I just knew in my mind when I lived in Linden, right, where Whatcom Creek is. And it was a few years ago, I was walking over here, or a good 10 years ago actually, and I saw the trees upright, not the bridge I filmed earlier in this video tonight, or this program, not that bridge, but right across, like right across the next road over, which is the hill I came down and then my tire blew at the end. When you go the other way and look up, it's very steep, and the cemetery's up there. That's Woburn. That whole area has Whatcom Creek on that side. Now, during this time, again, I was in Linden. I moved here in 1991 from the East Coast, even though I'm from South Dakota. I've lived all over, or back and forth from those places through my mom and dad's divorce. And so I had been here, right, 8 years, but lived in different areas in Bellingham and Sudden Valley, where my ex-husband's mother wanted a house built. And my son's dad, my ex-husband, built the house. He did the plumbing and everything. Now, so then we moved to Linden because he got a job there, and we lived there a whole year. And then when we came back here, I ended up moving in here when Parker was almost 5. You know, with just him. And Shaylin wasn't born yet. She was born when he was 8. So I showed her this too, just part of it, how big the plume of smoke was and everything. And so that means this place was built in 1999. I don't know if it was being built or what, but this huge apartment complex I'm in, with a pool, a little theater even. I've filmed that before in one of my back lives. It used to have seats that went up and you could have popcorn and all this. Now they just have couches and stuff on a regular just level. It just doesn't look, I mean, the screen's huge, but it's not, or the TV, it doesn't look like a theater. But anyway, they had a tanning bed, which I used for 4 years, and I'm glad they took it out. I probably have skin cancer. But anyway, I was just shocked when I was walking down Woburn once, and I looked to my right, this many years later, and saw black burnt trees still there. Literally upright, right there. And tomorrow, I'm gonna, because my bike has exploded now, or my tire, and it's so close, so I'm gonna walk, and I'm gonna film, and I'll show you how darn close I live to all of this now. Like, it's shocking. We're looking at a block and a half away. So, I'm so glad I wasn't in Bellingham then with a little 2.5-year-old son and all this. I would have been so frightened. And it happened in June, so luckily, right, it doesn't get dark till 9 or 10 at night. If that had happened like in the fall, it would have been dusky dark at 4:35. So you guys, I'm going to go. I'm going to show one more little thing. I haven't seen chat in the 35 minutes that show was just on. So if people hopped into chat, there's Max Smith. The 2003 Cedar Fire in San Diego blew up from 200 acres to 100,000 in 12 hours. Oh my gosh, Max. And Shits and Giggles, greetings, lovelies. Oh my God, Maroof Butt. Hi, Aunt. Wow. There's Sunflower Darkness. Hi, Megs. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. Will a senior citizen. Hello, all. Crazy Chicken Lady sent me. Bok, 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 bok. Thank you. Will you hit the like and will you subscribe to me? If you would, that'd be super. Oh, so about the fire you were in, Sherry, or Wild Angel, me and my son and my dog had to climb story, screened in balcony, down the ladder. Oh my goodness. That fires are scary. I had a kitchen fire and it hit the ceiling almost. It was petrifying. Hi, Flautez. I'm so glad you're here too. Oh my gosh, you guys. All right, so I really, really hope nothing happens and I don't have to sit in the timeout chair for 14 days. The one little thing I wanted to show that I got in the mail out of the blue and I just about freaked out. Remember I'd mentioned on here that I was in the Vermont Youth Orchestra when I was 14? That's many moons again, okay? Ago. Oh God, did I just show my dress on here? I probably did. Oops. So I get this in the mail. Wait, where is it? Over here. Remove your t-shirt, show me your... No. That's so silly, Melind Moore. Okay, that says Vermont Youth Orchestra. Actually, yeah, Vermont Youth Orchestra Association, all right? So I take out this letter, and I'm like, what on earth? And it's literally, you know, they're hoping I'll donate. Colchester, Vermont is right next to Burlington. And it says Ms. Megan Keycheck. And the fact that their address is Ferry Avenue. I haven't lived on Ferry Avenue since Parker was just a tyke. Dear Megan, recently we received a legacy gift that took us by surprise. This donor had given regularly over the years, but a gift of this significance was unexpected. The weeks and months that followed allowed us to dream, consider new possibilities, and plan for the future with confidence. Okay, this came all the way from Vermont. More importantly, it demonstrated their belief in and trust in the work that we do. This was their final act of ensuring that the Vermont Youth Orchestra Association, VYOA, is here for future generations of young Vermont musicians. You have a special connection with this organization, and naming the VYOA in your estate is an easy way to make a lasting impact. You've witnessed the tremendous growth and transformation this organization has had over the last 60 years, which I haven't, but I don't know. This season, the VYOA will serve nearly 200 young musicians in our orchestras, jazz ensembles, and training programs. The lesson program boasted nearly 80 students last year. Our early childhood classes were close to capacity, and school partnerships reached Caledonia County. And so then it says planned giving and this and that. So, yeah, so, you know, I'm broke and I can't do anything for it, but I was just shocked that there's something out there somewhere saying I was in the Vermont Youth Orchestra over 50 years ago. 50 years ago. It's insanity. And so I get this in the mail a few days ago. That was really weird. I played the viola for 4 years, which for those of you that don't know what one is, it's bigger than a violin, it's heavier, it's, I had to have literally a piece of sponge with a rubber band or something because it was hurting my chin, whatever, and I played that in the Vermont Youth Orchestra. There were 4 chairs needed, I got 4th chair. That'll give you an idea that I was okay because I was in the Vermont Youth Orchestra, but I got last chair. And my sister, Ashley, was in it too, and she played cello. And I can't remember which chair she was or how many they even needed. But yeah, so we did that, and yeah, I don't know, honestly, how many years it even was. Was it 1? Could it have been 2? Maybe it was 4. I can't remember, but I do remember going to camp for the first time ever, and feeling homesick, and it was just, I think it was a little over a month, and that was bizarre, but I was pretty young. So you guys, I'm gonna go. It's been an hour 165 minutes, so I don't even know what that is. Is that 2.5 hours about? I don't know. Anyway, I'm not really very good with math, but thank you for being here so much. And yeah, I mean, my title is, now I can't remember, what is it? Oh my goodness, God was really watching out for me today or something. I'm going to add to it the Bellingham, Washington, 1999 pipe explosion. And it was intense, but like I said, I wasn't here then. I didn't live in this town. Well, I lived in it before, but then in Linden, which is 22 miles away, and the big thing of smoke, oh my gosh, it was intense even from there. All right, thanks everyone for being here. Please hit the like, and please subscribe to me if you're willing to, okay? This is PCT is Extreme. If I missed your name or something you said, don't feel offended. I just ended up playing a video. Thank you for putting my Cash App and my PayPal in if anybody wants to donate in case I need a tube with the tire that exploded. It sounded like a gunshot. This is what I thought. I didn't think anyone was really shooting at me. Like, you know what I mean? But then I quickly thought, well, it sounded like a shot. I hadn't noticed my tire yet. So I thought maybe there was a shooting range over there. And it whizzed in front. I mean, I didn't see anything move in front of me, but the sound was in front of me. And then when I tried to move my bike, I noticed it was the tire, and that was intense. And like I said, I didn't even pump it up today. And I thought maybe it was that teeny piece of glass. I might have, but they're thick, good mountain bike tires. And Joe, my ex, was emphatic when he said, no, your tire was pumped up too much. Well, the last time I pumped it up was like 2 days ago, and I rode on it, so it should have been down a little bit. And like I told him, when I pressed on the tires before I go, I always do that. There's a teeny bit of give, right? Just a little bit. But I've been to like gas stations where they've pumped up my tires, and you can't even, they're rock hard. So I don't even know. I'm going to ask them at Jack's Bicycle what they think. But love you. Thanks for being here. Prayers for anybody that needs them. And yeah, thanks to my regulars, and thanks to the new people here. And to the 23 on the I almost said camel, on the elephants' backs, riding along, watching this video in Thailand on the basket chairs. My daughter and I are watching Survivor, and instead of the bushes all the time, right, that people that aren't in the chat, I pick different places, and it's kind of fun. All right, bye everyone.